There's some people who say that if you really want to reach your goals, you need to have single-mindedness of purpose. Go, like, have a goal and go after it. Live it. Oh, it's the ultimate. And I don't agree. I think you need 100 goals. Most people I've ever met in my life, the overwhelming common goal of most people I've ever met in life was to retire. And then they retire, and then they got nothing to do, and then within a couple of months, a year, they're dead. And no reason to be here. I got lots of reasons to be here. They're my goals. Whatever your reasons are, those are your goals. And they're worth knowing. I'd rather have 100 goals and be reaching one a day and writing down 3 more than have one goal, I just keep working towards it, and then when I hit it, I go, now what? The money says you kick off once you reach that one goal. The easiest way to reach your goals is to associate with people who have reached the same goal. The people who already have what you want is who you go to get it from them. So you associate with the people who have what you want. And you can do that in seminars, and you can do it in live associations, and you can do it by watching their shows, and you can do it by reading their books, and you can, Abe Lincoln had a lot of cool qualities that I like. I read stuff about Abe Lincoln whenever I have the opportunity. He wasn't perfect by any stretch. He owned slaves. But a lot of cool things. He did a lot of good stuff. I can't go sit at his feet, as the expression goes, and talk with Abe, but I can read about him. Somebody knows something, and when they tell some of those stories, they're probably accurate. Some of them. But associate with the people who have what you want, who are already doing what you want to be doing. I'll bet you that the people who taught you to be a master gardener, most, if not all of them, were master gardeners.
Yeah.
When you got your master gardening certificate, most of the people, or all of the people that you got it from, were already master gardeners.
Yeah, I got it from, following the course. But no, I had mentors.
And they were master gardeners.
Right.
If I want to learn about computers, I go to somebody who's better at computers than me, who has the skills I want to get. I had a couple teachers in school who weren't chiropractors, but they taught very specialized subjects like anatomy. And they were in school to become chiropractors, working their way through school teaching anatomy because they knew more about anatomy than anybody else did. They wrote the National Board anatomy questions. Don't be afraid of writing stuff down and writing goals and making plans. Even if you throw them away, you didn't waste your time. And then you might try one more thing. After you make your list, Peter, and you got your 150 goals, you might want to play around with stacking them in order of importance to yourself. Or putting numbers next to them, even if the numbers aren't in order, in terms of their importance. So you say this is the number one most important goal I need to work on. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, down to 150 or 180 or however far you go. Okay? You go to number 1, man. This is by far and away my most important goal. Number 2, this is my second most important goal. And sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 goals might all have the same number. This is 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and then the next one is 9. That could happen. But then you start to look and you say, if I got 100 goals and I got 1,000 hours. How much time goes into goal number 1? How much goes into goal number 100? You can play around with the math a little bit, but if you see yourself putting most of your time into goal number 45 and very little of your time into goal number 1, maybe you're kidding yourself. Maybe you need to restack them or reorganize your use of time. But it's a nice, I'll say nice, it's a good way. It's a objective way to see if the goals you've actually set are really what you want. Is how much time am I putting into them? Just by that, how much effort's going behind them. Doesn't mean you have to be driven by them. It's like that story about my grandma. My grandma started walking a mile a day when she was 80. We got no idea where she is now. I haven't seen her in years. She just kept on walking. But she was walking a mile a day. But you might want to think how you say it. I'm going to talk tomorrow about a girl named Pam who set goals. I'm going to come right back to goals tomorrow with Pam. And she set goals, and then she started learning more about, once she set her goals and reached her goals, she started learning more about being very precise in her wording of her goals. So that she actually got what she wanted rather than just got what she wrote down. Because that really wasn't. And the people say, "Oh, you know what I mean? Do what I mean, not what I said." Careful. I was at the grocery store one day, and the checkout guy says to me, he was a kid, he's a young kid, he goes, "You're famous." I go, "Nope, not me. I'm not famous." He goes, "No, I'm sure it's you. You're famous." He's very serious about it, right? I'm going, I've never done anything where I would become famous. He goes, "I'm sure it's you." "I'm sure you're mistaken. It's somebody else that you're thinking about that comes in this store." There's lots of famous people come in the store. We live in a good part of England. There's some famous people around. Sting lives nearby. Maybe he went to the grocery store. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys look a lot alike.
Yeah, right. David Gilmour lives nearby.
Still kicking, eh?
Yep, David Gilmour lives really close. Maybe he went to the grocery store one day. What's the odds of that? Anyway, I said no. We went back and forth a good while where he was well convinced.
So you're stringing this poor guy out.
Finally, I go, what is it that you think I'm famous for? And he goes, "You're the guy that every time you come to this grocery store, we have to restock the fruit and vegetable aisle." I go, "Yeah, I might be that guy."
That is good.
The whole time he's stringing me on, and I didn't know. And I go, "Yeah, that could be me. I did take all the mangoes out of the box."
This week was amazing. It was like, from the moment I walked in, I was just embraced by a bunch of 80-10-10ers who were super stoked to be there and super stoked on life.
I wanted to train with Zach. I wanted to do sports with him. And it's like my energy, it's twice.
It's fun. You should do it if you get a chance. Come to these events. They're awesome. Just a few days here, and I'm feeling way more energetic. When I first came here, I certainly could have not have gone out and did what we just did. So 8-10-10.
3 times a week was the normal, and here I trained every day, and I am loving it. I'm having the energy for it.
I was at the highest potential I could possibly be, and that wasn't as high as I wanted to be. I feel that now, a week later, when I'm, running, I have more space in my tank to keep going.
We had amazing meals. Like every single meal was just mind-blowing. Every night was themed with this magical experience, and the food was just extraordinary. Like food that I never thought I could taste, like straight out of the ground, you know? It's just the best food of my life.
And he pushed us like in ways I've never been pushed before. and I love that.
It's amazing to want to run, to just out of nowhere be like, I'm ready to run. You know, I've never had that feeling before, ever.
We would work out 3 times a day. There was 3, like an AM and a right before lunch, and then a PM like practice. And there were different teachers leading different classes. So whatever your level is, you can participate in something that's really great, challenging for you. I had like one of the greatest times